today? Yes. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here today because it's December, right? We gotta get Christmas shopping done, right? Is your house decorated? My Christmas cards are done.
I haven't even given it a thought.
I'm excited.
Mine are in the box.
We can. Okay, just to let you know, we have no kids. So we give so much money to lots of places, of course, but to a lot of animal foundations. I have enough Christmas cards to probably give to the whole state of New York. So everybody's getting animal Christmas cards this year. I'm like, yeah, for free, that's cute. So it's all good. But I am so grateful to be here tonight, you guys, to speak to you. I don't know if you know how I really got to know Betty on a personal level. Well, I don't know if I knew you before I became a director, did I?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
I met you, you were a brand new director.
Brand new director. I think, yeah. Okay, so my very first director's meeting, Betty took me to my very first director's meeting. And I was so nervous, and I will never forget, what's her name? I heard that director. I forget her name. But anyway, she spoke on appearance and how you're supposed to, not have a ratty suit. And I had just gotten my director's suit, and I loved my suit. And I was like, why would anybody have like a ratty director's suit? Like, I didn't get that, but she spoke about image, and it was all these great directors. And Betty made me feel so comfortable and so a part of that. And so I thank you so much because you guys were holding your meetings on your own because Pam was in California at that time, right?
Yeah.
And then I was adopted into the Barberson area, so that was fun too. And you guys, so I'm going to start with my journey and how I joined, and I'm going to kind of give you training with my Istory. So you might want to take some notes because I'm going to kind of put it all together. And I did have notes, but they're at home. Oh well. Okay, so I joined Mary Kay 21 years ago. I was 18 years old. I had started using the product when I was 15. Now let me just tell you something. It is amazing how God puts people into your life and how things come full circle. And you're going to love this story because you never know what life you're going to touch, right? And I always believe this and write this down. Face to face is never in vain. I don't care if you got to drive, 2 hours to do a facial. It is worth it because something's going to come from it. And, sometimes we get a little, whatever, uppity, and we were like, oh, I'm not going to drive that far. Or, if it's only one person, I'm not going to go. And I've been like that at times, but, shame on me because it's that one time that you need to be there that's going to change that person's life. So what happened was I was 15, and my oldest sister had just given birth to her third child. And this was the child that, of course, another girl. Ruby already had a boy and a girl. So this child, when she was born, I was asked to come and to get a facial with her because the lady from Welcome Wagon, the Mary Kay lady from Welcome, was going to come and give my sister a facial. And Ruby's like, do you want to come and get a facial? I'm like, yeah. So it was free. Of course, I'm 15. So I go to my sister's house, and that's where I met Sherry Bukofkin.
Oh, my God.
And Sherry Bukofkin is my senior and recruiter. So the minute Sherry met me, I'm 15. Now, mind you, I had a lemonade stand by the age of 10. I was making Christmas ornaments by the age of 9 and going door to door on my little bicycle selling ornaments. I was always selling something. I mean, and I'm sure they were like, there's that poor farmer's daughter. Please buy something from her, because we were dairy farmers, whatever. So you would know, but we were farmers. So I'll get to that story in a minute. So anyway, so I went there and I was like mesmerized by the product because I had really dry skin. We're Dutch. My parents are from Holland. I'm Dutch, so very, very dry skin, but I would break out because I didn't have the right products for my face. So the product fixed my face, but I didn't have the money for it, right? But I knew how to get the money. So, because I went to Warwick High School, and there's money there. And I know I had friends that had money. So I said, I'm going to have a party for you. And so I had the party. And at the party, I invited my rich friends. I don't know about you, but I had rich friends, and I had poor friends, and then I had the real friends. No, I mean, all kinds of friends. I had a plethora of friends. So at the party, Sherry sold $250 in product at that party. This was like 3 months later. But I had postponed that party 4 times. She was getting very annoyed with me. It might even have been more. So you have it recorded, so she'll know now the answer. But so when I finally had the party, I was like, this is crazy. Now my mom was very not liking Sherry at all. Don't ask. They just didn't collect it at that time. I don't know why. Today my mom thinks she's the best, of course, but back then she just didn't like. She thought she was pushy, right? Whatever. So when I got my free product and then I ran out and needed more stuff, I really couldn't afford it. So Valentine's Day was coming up, and this is like about 2 years later because I had been on and off. I didn't really, my mother would give it to me for Christmas, like a cleanser or moisturizer or whatever. So Valentine's Day was coming up, and she said to me, if you want to get some stuff for free, why don't you sell some of these mugs for me? So she made a mug with a hand cream, and she said, if you sell, whatever you sell, I'll give you 10%. I sold $180 in mugs. And I got 10%. I was like, there's something wrong with that. And my mom's like, I think you might want to do that because I was 18 at that time. That was in that February. So I joined Mary Kay that month because she was actually in a contest. to earn her first company car. Needed one more person. And I was like, whatever. So I joined, and I had no clue what I was signing up for. So when I got the kit, it was like crazy because it was very disorganized. There was samples everywhere. I was so freaked out, and I have ADHD, just to let you know. So if I bounce all over you, that's why I wanted to have my notes, because the older you get, the worse it gets. I don't take medication. I probably should, but whatever. So, works for me. So I'll keep you entertained. So when I got the kit, I'm like, Sherry, this is very, very confusing to me. So she comes over, she's like, calm down, calm down. So I go to the first meeting at the Howard Johnson in Newburgh. And 11 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday in Newburgh.
Wow.
At the Howard Johnson in the back room, the trucker's place. And I go to this meeting, and there's like 3 people. And I'm like, this is exciting. And who walks in but Vivian Diaz?
Oh, yeah.
Her purple suit, and her purple hat, and her big pink Cadillac. And I was like, oh no. Because I saw how the people acted around her, and I'm like, I want to be like her. I want to be like her. So I was at the meeting, and I would go every week. I changed my college schedule to go to the meeting every week because my director told me, Sherry told me, never miss a meeting, because Sherry was now a sales director, never miss a meeting, right? And keep coming. So I changed my college schedule. So every week I would go, and who could beat Sherry in sales? My senior has done Queen's Court of Sales like, I don't know, 50 million years. No, I'm kidding. She's done it like 30 years in a row, like crazy. Always at $1,000 weeks, and I wanted to beat her so bad, right? So I could not sell basic skincare for the life of me. I just couldn't sell sets. And that was when we only showed the $99 set. That was dumb. Why didn't I show the $199 back then? Because we had that too, but I didn't show it because I thought they're not going to buy it. So I go up to Vivian, I'm like, at the end of the meeting, I'm like, Vivian, I just can't sell skincare, I can't sell sets. And she goes, well, are you showing sets? Like lots of sets? I'm like, no. She goes, well, if you show sets, you're going to sell a lot of sets this week, and if you're the queen of sales, I'm going to give you a gift. Vivian was infamous, and I hope you see this video.
She did, yeah.
I hope you hear this, Vivian, because she is infamous for telling you she's going to give you a prize, and you never got the prize. So that's my problem, too.
Vivian is Ruth's director. Audrey, she's in Vivian's unit.
She probably still owes me stuff. Whatever. Because I still got the prize, right? Okay, so I go back the following week, and I was the queen of sales because I sold 7 skincare sets in 1 week. I was so excited. Well, I was so excited that I flunked out of college. But I was living at home, living at home, working, played piano for my church, boyfriends, babysat, Mary Kay, but I love Mary Kay. It was like 24/7 Mary Kay, right? So when I flunked that semester, and I'm telling you, like bad. I had to go in front of the board to ask them to take me back in because I wanted to get that degree, that dumb degree that you have to get, right? And my mother and my father could say nothing because I was paying for college. So I said, you got nothing to say. I'm paying you rent. I'm paying for college. And so it's my responsibility. My mom's like, yeah. So anyway, so I went to in front of the board. They let me back in. And I was crying in front of the board, and I'm like, I just want to get this degree, but I love Mary Kay. And they're like, Mary Kay? I'm like, I'm going to win a car, Mary Kay. And they're looking at me, I'm like, so I got my 2-year degree that took me 3 years, marketing and sales. So not even accounting or anything like that. Marketing and sales is what I do. And I got my real full-time job, all the while playing with Mary Kay. Now, I did take a hiatus of about 9 months to finish that degree. And I went almost out of the company. I hadn't ordered for 9 months. Little did I know, my mother called Sherry and said, do not call my daughter. I found this out a couple years ago. Do not call my daughter until she gets her degree. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nice mom. Okay. No, it's okay. It worked out. It had happened in that way, So anyway, my mom knew that I loved the whole thing, but she wanted me to get my degree. Yeah. So got my degree, and then I got the real full-time job. Always had a job, you guys. Always working. Always, making money. Always trying to hustle. Always. So I got the real full-time job at a engineering company in Middletown. Now you're gonna think this is very funny, but I hated that job because I hated engineers. Because they were so detailed that it was killing me. So I had to take back then you had to take the audio cassette tape and then listen to it and then type out so they would talk into it, and it was the most boring information, and his voice was so annoying, and I hope you see this too. And I was like, and so I almost got like carpet. It was like 8 hours of typing, still doing Mary Kay. So when I got this job, after about a month, I was like, no way can I do this for the rest of my life. And the guy that I was dating at that time, that was the only thing that was good about him, The guy I was dating at that time said to me, "You are so miserable. Why don't you just give Mary Kay a shot?" And I go, "Well, I got to get the car first. I got to do things in order. I want to make sure that I have things in order." And my sister, Ruby, had said to me, those are the only two people that said to me and believed in me to do Mary Kay full time. So what happened was I had gone on Target for my car in November. That was in 1994 when it snowed every Wednesday. Does anybody remember that year? Like 3 feet of snow. So I had a lot of Mary Kay in my house, and it kept coming. And my mom's like, "You keep ordering this product." I'm like, because I'm winning a car. You understand? I would walk around my house like a mental patient. I'm like, "I'm winning a car, I'm winning a car, I'm winning a car. I don't care, I'm winning a car. I'm winning a car. Like crazy. My mom's like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "I don't care, I'm winning the car." Because Vivian said, keep saying it. Keep saying it till it happens. So here's how God works. So I win the car. Listen, I win the car. I had been driving a Beretta that my brother, I love this Beretta, so my brother sold to me. I love it because my other car, died. But I won the Mary Kay car, but I love the Beretta. So in my mind, I'm driving to work one day because I'm waiting for the car to come in, the Grand Am. And I'm driving to work and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I could just take the money. Because then if I don't make production, nobody would know. And then I could sell my Beretta, because I love my Beretta, because it had a sunroof, it was hot, tinted windows. That was the day I got into an accident, and the car totaled.
Oh my goodness.
Well, there goes that idea. So, okay, God. So I was waiting for the car, and back then you really had to wait a long time. Like, it was almost like 3 months sometimes for the Grand Am. I was in 3 weeks for my waiting period. I called the company. I'm like, "Listen, I totaled my car. I have no car. And I don't have whatever to get the free car rental. I don't have that because I don't have the money to do that, but I want a car. Can I get a car faster?" And they're like, "Well, it just so happens a girl in the Bronx earned her Grand Am and decided she didn't want it. She's going to take the money instead." Perfect. In a week I had my car.
Wow.
So my test drive was coming out of the Bronx. That was exciting because I never drove there before either. So that was exciting. So
Wow.
I know. So then I got fired. Because then I'd take a day off of work to pick up the car. Because I had to go to the Bronx. I think they thought I was lying. Exactly. And I was thinking, people, you know that you don't pay me enough to buy a new car, so you know I earned one. And they were just stupid. So the guy that hired me wasn't even the one that fired me. That really annoyed me. I didn't like that. So the guy that fired me was just like this little, annoying guy. And he says to me, he goes, "We're just going to have to let you go because we really think that you should probably go for Mary Kay because you're so into it right now." I'm like, "You're probably right." I said, "But I want to talk to Mark because he's the one really that hired me and he should be the one that's firing me." So I went on into his office and I said, in one year, I'll be in my pink car. Thank you. And in 1 year, I was in my pink car. And exactly in that 1 year, he was dingling the bell for Salvation Army on Main Street in Middletown. And I was driving. Honest God, true story. My true story. I did not make it up, right? I was like, yes. So excited. And that was the Pink Grand Prix. And Barbara Sundin, listen. I was at the director's meeting, and suppose you don't know Barbara. Barbara's hardcore, it's never enough, never enough. So I just won my Grand Prix. I was only a director for a year. I'm going to the director's meeting. I'm like, they're going to stand for me? They don't stand for you. They stand for you in a Cadillac. They don't stand for you in a Grand. But I thought they were. So at the meeting, Barbara's like, "You all should be in Cadillacs." She was, and I'm like this. So at the end of the meeting, I go up to the meeting, because I didn't want to say that I won the Grand Prix. I'm like, "Barbara, I won the Grand Prix." Because she was saying, "That Grand Prix is too cute. It's too," because it was really cute. It was like a compact. It looked like a compact. She's like, "That's too cute." So at the end of the meeting, I'm like, "Barbara, I won the Grand Prix." She goes, "You won, I'm so proud of you." I'm like, "Really, Barbara? Could you have, said it?" Because I was a little excited. Because back then, that Grand Prix, guess what the production was? Just to let you know. Guess what it was? The Mustang. 12,000. Wholesale. My unit was doing 24,000 retail in 1996. I was living in Pine Island, New York, in the middle of nowhere with no traffic light. I was a 21-year-old, very annoying, hyper obnoxious, not very tactful sales director who would tell her people that if their husband didn't agree or didn't support them, well, then you should just leave him. Because that's done. Now, understand the Dutch culture. You need to know this. In the Dutch culture, the woman wears the pants. the woman
I
pays the
didn't know
bills.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Which I'm getting to my... Yeah, Dutch Reformed. That's how I was raised. Yeah, Dutch Reformed. So I'm going to get my next point. So I was single for many years, obviously, because nobody could handle me, right? So and by the way, when you work with women, you hear a lot of things.
Yeah.
I didn't want kids, and I didn't want to get married, because I saw things when I was very young. When I saw things, and I'm like, oh my God, that's not for me. Plus, I'm the youngest of 6, and I have 14 nieces and nephews. So I was always around lots of siblings and lots of children, and babysat all of them. And so just didn't really want to be a part of that forever, you know. Just saying, you know. So what happened was I had moved out of my house, and I moved to Middletown. I was still in my second pink Grand Prix now. And my mother was like, you're moving out? No, I'm the baby. She was 42 when she had me. You're moving out? She's like, you have to be married first before you move out. I'm like, she goes, I'm not paying for your wedding when you get married if you move out. I was 27, 26. I said, I'm moving out. She didn't help me move, nothing. But then she came to visit, and today she lies. Oh, I was never like that. Like, Mom. So when I moved out, it forced me to work harder because I wanted to have the same lifestyle. I wanted to have the same money, spending money. I wanted to be able to still take my friends out because I was the one that took my friends out because a lot of them were poor, whatever, it was fine. I didn't mind it. I just always thought I wanted to be that person to help people. And so we went to Cadillac that following year that we went, and I moved out full time. And I've never looked back, you guys, and it has been a phenomenal journey. So coming back to the engineering story, and then I'm going to wrap this up. How much more time do I have?
You're good.
Oh, we're good? Okay, good, because I have more to tell you. So I'm in this new apartment complex that I have in my neighbor, who I love, my neighbor, so sweet, lover, and we would always see these 2 guys at the mailbox to get their mail, and we look at them, you know, and I'm like, that guy's cute. She goes, yeah, that guy's cute. And I'm like, oh, he lives over there. Yeah, okay. So Christmas time comes. This is in 2000. Yeah, 2001. And I'm at a Christmas party in Goshen. This is how God works. And in walks this couple. And I'm like, she's going to be my next director. Because I don't look at people and think, that's going to be my next consultant. I look at when I say, it's going to be my next director. And I tell them that right at the interview. You're going to be my next director. Didn't I not tell you that? Thank you very much. Okay, so this girl, okay, so we're like, you know, we're talking, and she's gorgeous. And she's like, are you single? I'm like, yes. And she goes, I have somebody for you. I said, yeah, who? She goes, my brother.
Yeah.
Whips out a picture of my husband, Rob. And I'm like, oh, he's cute. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what does he do? She goes, he's an engineer. Can't work. So our first date was the day after Christmas in 2001, and we've been together ever since. Now, have we had problems? Yeah, of course. So when we got married in 2004, he had this, because he's Italian.
Yeah.
I'm an engineer. And he was in the military. I don't cook. I don't have to cook for you, and I'm not doing your laundry. Like, really? Like, we didn't talk about this before we should have had counseling. We didn't. So, like, when we got married, he thought there was going to be a meal on the table every day. I'm not working. I'm selling product. I'm busy. I'll be home on Sunday. I'm not going to cook, because that's what my mom did. But I'm not cooking, because I really don't know how. Which is why I was much skinnier then, too, right? So anyway, we had some growing pains. And they got very painful in 2009. And I was like, that's it, I'm done. And that's why I met Karen. Karen was impressed with my story because we split up, I left. And I decided I was going to get an apartment. And I did. And I did everything within 2 weeks. Because I had the means to do it. Now, there was no adultery. There was no abuse. It just wasn't working out. And it was bad. There was no communication. And there's more to that story, but I'm going to, pull it all together. And my point in telling you this is because you want to be able to take care of yourself without a man. My father would say to me, from when I was a little girl, he's like, Audrey, you don't need no man. You don't need nobody. What you need is yourself. And you got to have a trade. And you got to have a plan B, plan C, plan D, E, all the way down to Z. You never rely on anybody but yourself. My parents came here from Holland with nothing, asked no money from nobody, nothing. Nothing, did it on their own with only $500 in their pocket, and that was it. And my dad got, fulfilled his dream of becoming a dairy farmer, and, he's in heaven now. And, it was just, I'm so grateful for that upbringing of that work ethic that you don't ask for anybody. I think it's so sad when one gets that. Okay, so when we split, I left everything to him. And I went to the furniture store, and I, in 1 hour, spent $10,000 at the furniture store because I knew what I wanted. I walked in there, I had my suit on, and I said to the salesman, I go, I'm going to be spending a lot of money here quickly, and I need a 0% APR for the next year, and I know what I want. He goes, okay, what do you want first? I'm like, I want to look at office furniture. So, everything done, $10,000 an hour later, didn't even think, whatever, and we had that split. And I will tell you, that is truly by the grace of God that it went that way, because God had a plan for us. And I didn't agree with the church we were going to, and because that's very important to me. And it wasn't biblically correct, in my opinion. And so we had to come together. So while we were split, I decided to become a big sister of Orange County. That little girl brought us to the church that we are today. And that church is Christian Faith Fellowship Family Church in Bloomingburg, and we truly have, grown. So I was only apart for like 2 or 3 months from him, really, and we got back together, worked it out, had to pay this dumb lease because I signed the lease for a year, whatever. Living at home, paying the lease, whatever. That's why I make money, America. I can't take it with you. So we got together, went through counseling. The counselor's like, aren't you doing this kind of like backwards? I'm like, yeah, whatever. So, whatever, it worked. But you know what? The counselor said to us, he goes, you know what? Married couples are waiting for you to get this right, to be a testimony. Because, you guys, it's truly, life is a journey, and you never know what's around the corner. My father always said, you never know, always be prepared, and always rely on the Lord, right? So, got back together, and thank God. Took a little dip in my Mary Kay, a little dip, just a little one. Got back in the groove again, and then my sister was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, Ruby. Ruby's daughter, Bethany, joined Mary Kay 2 years prior to that, and was a sales director. Bethany went full-time with Mary Kay and was able to take care of her dying mother because she left her teaching job with a master's in reading to take care of my sister, the same sister that introduced me to Mary Kay 21 years ago. Can you imagine how God works? And Bethany's in her Cadillac, just had her first baby. Of course, she misses my sister. My sister's gone 3 years, And who would have thought 52? But guys, here's the thing. Are you prepared if something were to happen? Do you have a situation where you're going to get paid if you can't work? Because my sister didn't. She had no life insurance.
Oh my gosh.
I found that out a month before she died, and I wanted to literally pull her through the telephone. I said, what'd you do with it? Didn't you have it? You got kids. You got no life insurance. What's wrong with you? Guys, I'm sorry. I hope I'm saying something to somebody here. You better have that set up. Life is too short. You don't know what's around the corner, but if you got kids, you better have that taken care of, people. You really better. It doesn't cost much. Just get it done. Have another skincare class. Recruit somebody, whatever. So she went to heaven. And it was a difficult time, and then a year later, my dad's prostate cancer, his levels went to a point where we had to start treatment for my 80-year-old father. And I was not in agreement with that, but I was the one that was able to be there for my dad and take him to his appointments and go to the oncologist and be there with my mom and dad. And there's some funny stories about that because they would forget their hearing aids. And then I would bring them there, and I would say, they don't have their hearing aids, and you got to talk really loud and slow and be there for like 5 hours. But, God taught me patience through that. And I know, and I can talk like this and not cry because I know they're in heaven because of our salvation in Jesus Christ. And I'm grateful that I was able to be there and still make the money and not have to worry about production. I mean, it wasn't great, but I was still doing Cadillac because of the work that I did, right? Offspring a director during that time, and it's what you do now is what's going to prepare you for a future. And don't think it's too late. It's never too late. It's never too late. And so that's why when I talk to people about recruiting, it's with a sense of urgency. It's like, really? Just do it. What are you waiting for? What is the worst thing that could happen? You get yourself a half price and you can win a company car. Now, what is wrong with that? Like, really? Is that a bad gig? It's a $100 kit. You're giving them too much information. Just like, buy the kit and then here's what I tell them. I go, buy the kit and then we'll figure it out. We'll do your first party, and then we'll decide whether you want to do it or not. Either way, you're going to win, right? Isn't that true? Yeah. People, it's a numbers game. My friend Andrea Shields, Andrea Wickham, whatever her last name is now, she's like, I just throw a bunch of mud on the wall and I see what sticks. Amen, that's what I say. Because it's a numbers game anyway, not the consultant term. It's a numbers game because we don't know who's going to be great, right? We don't know. You don't know who's going to be great. But my point is that your sales is your money for today. Your team building is your money for tomorrow. And the company is on such a high right now. We need more leaders in the business. We need more. I was taught by Mary Kay. I take that so seriously. I could cry because I'm like, you know what? I was so close to national in 2003. So close. So close. Like 7 first line, 6 second line. Almost done. And just had another issue. Had a little issue. Didn't feel worthy. Didn't feel like I was ready. Had some stuff going on before I got married, and I just mentally was not prepared for certain things. And I had a little bit of a breakdown. And that was at that time. Yeah. And so, God has truly been there for me, but this company has comforted me. I feel like I've always been accepted in Mary Kay. You don't have to be perfect. I am not perfect. I mess up all the time, but I love people. I love this company. I love the product. I love the nationals and the directors that I work with. I love that so much. I love that I could be there for my dad, be there for my sister, be there for my nieces and nephews, have money to give my nieces and nephews if they need something, just to have that freedom. Do you have that? And girls, ladies, I'm telling you, if you're not in the suit, you don't. And I have to be totally frank with you. The time is now. It's never going to be the right time. It's never going to be the right time. You know what's stopping you from being there? You. So if you're like, well, I don't know what it is about me. Well, until you figure it out, just do it. Right?
That's good advice.
Until you figure it out. Because you know what?
Like Nike.
Listen, while you're getting there, you're making money. If you just sit here and try to figure it out, you're broke. So you might as well make money while you're trying to figure it out. Does that make sense? People say, I love it what Joanne Barnes would say. Joanne Barnes would say, she loved when people say, when they tell me, I'm just going through something. I'm just going through something. And she'd be like, well, why don't you just get through it? And stop complaining about your situation. Because you know what happens when you complain about your situation? You bring more of that situation into your life. Did you know that? Your environment is controlling what's happening to you. You have to seriously, now some of us live with negative people. By the grace of God, Rob is a completely different person, so am I. We have grown spiritually like you would not believe. It's a miracle. Because it was bad. Like, I was done. And when I'm done, I'm done. That's me. That's it, my personality. That's it, I'm done. Next move, I can just, next. So I will say this to you guys. You need to figure out where you want to be. Figure it out. And then just do it. And directorship is really where it's at. Is it for everybody? I say yes. I believe every single person can benefit from it. And so your situation, your environment, you have to be very, very, very careful as to who you share your dreams and goals with. But you have to have your affirmations. You do Voxer, right? Do they Vox?
Yeah.
Vox your affirmations to your sales director. Have your affirmations written down everywhere. Tell yourself, I didn't know what I was doing when I won my first car by walking around all day long saying, I'm going to win a car, I'm going to win a car, I'm going to win a car. I look in the mirror and say, I'm going to win a car, I'm going to win a car. I mean, I was like, I'm going to win a car. Like, I would dream about it, and then when I got the car, I had to constantly look out the window, because I'm like, I got the car, I really got the car. It's crazy. Like, and who would have thought? Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought? So that can be for you too. So, I mean, you're like, oh, I don't feel like I'm worthy, or I don't know the right people. That is all a bunch of stupid stuff. Stop saying that to yourself. A lot of you, most of you have been in long enough to have won a lot of cars. So I don't know what's stopping you. I really don't, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you permission to make it happen this month. The time is now. Leadership is huge. You're national. Listen, when are you retiring?
2 years.
2 years.
Wow.
Somebody has got to be a national.
That's right.
Somebody. That's right. It may not, I don't know who it's going to be, but it better be somebody. Because with this teacher and this leader and this mentor who's got the heart of Mary Kay, who's so understanding, so forgiving, I'm not going to talk about it, but Betty's so understanding. Do you guys understand that? Did I say that? Did I say understand that? I mean, like I said, I was a big whippersnapper, pain in the neck sometimes, and I love you, Betty, for forgiving me and loving me anyway. I owe you big time. She's like, you want to come and talk? I'm like, yeah, whatever I can do for you. So, honestly, you guys, who's going to step up? You could be a national in 2 years before she retires. You could join Mary Kay right now and become a national sales director in 2 years if you want it badly enough. And if for anything else, passing on the legacy, passing on the torch.
That's right.
You know, I still have notes from Mary Kay when I went to DIT training in 1995. I was so freaking excited to meet this lady. I was so excited. And understand, back then, it was very rare to be so young as a sales director. And the one thing that people would tell me all the time that I wish they didn't say to me, they would say to me, oh, you have so much time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have so much time. Oh, you're young. You have so much time. I wish they said, you don't have a lot of time. Because I'd be a national, get busy, you know. But that's what they said to me. And when I met Mary Kay, and she took your hands in her hands, and she looked at you in the eye, and she was like, Audrey, I know you're going to win your pink Cadillac. And I know she told that to everybody, but I felt like she always said it to me. And I was like, okay, Mary Kay. And I was just beaming that I could be there with this woman, and I cried, and then I had headaches. I used to get migraines, and I would get so excited. Literally, at seminar, because we could go shopping with the directors, I would literally get headaches so bad I had to go lay down in the room. So I'm like, I have to buy all this stuff now. I don't have to win it. You know, so, yeah, please, I go with tons of jewelry. So, you guys, honestly, when I look back at my journey, and I look back at where we're going in the future, I know in my soul and in my spirit, and I feel that the Lord is leading me that way into the national position. Sometimes you gotta take a step back, take a step forward. It happens sometimes, it's the dance of the business, but the time is now. And you guys, the time is now for you in this area. You have to stop. Just change a couple things. Not everything, just change a couple things. Move forward, let's just true. Move forward into that next position because it can be for you. And how fast can you go into DIQ? In a day. In a day. In a day. Why are you waiting so long? Right, Karen, what did we say? We did a new thing in our meeting. I said, you know what? Every week I want to have somebody move up one level. Every week. And you better do it. So that's how I do it. I'm doing all this stuff. I love all this stuff. My head hurts. I'm like, I can't, and this makes me shake to make these, like, I don't have, my assistant should do it, but I have one, but whatever. So, like, you have a great system here, you know, like, if you want to win everything, but it doesn't take long. Adding that many people. We did how many interviews that month? Oh. And I don't like phone interviews.
Like
I really didn't like them.
I don't know.
25.
It was in like a week and a half we did.
No, I don't do phone interviews. And I was like, Karen, I really don't do but I'll do it for you. Because I like one-on-one. I like instant. Like at a party, I recruit at the party. Because I do. Yeah, no, I don't wait. What are you waiting for? What do you think Mary Kay did? Do you really think didn't Mary Kay recruit at the party? She booked, sold, and recruit at the party. What are you waiting for? So at every party, when I was in DIQ or going for my car, I would say, okay, Lord, on the way there, I'd pray, all right, Lord, give me the right people, show me the right ones that I'm supposed to sell to, who I'm supposed to book to, who I'm supposed to recruit, and make it clear to me. And every time, there'd be somebody there. And then I wouldn't leave until somebody signed up. No, seriously. I'm like, I'm not leaving. I'm in a challenge, and one of you is going to be on my team. And I'm not kidding. And they would be like, okay. And I'm like, really? And I give them a bonus or something, you know, like whatever. It doesn't matter. Or give them a ring for signing up, whatever you want to give them. But that's how it was, because I'm laser focused. And so when I do a debut for a new consultant, that's what I do. I'm not leaving until somebody signs up. And you guys, here's the thing. You don't know unless you try. And for our guests in the room, wouldn't you much rather go through life saying, I'm so glad I gave it a shot, than I wish I tried it at that time? I have a consultant, Connie Bruning. She is 77 years old, or 76. Joined Mary Kay 19 years ago. She helped me earn every single card that I have. And will never let me forget it. It's just so funny. And she said to me, she told me, she's been using Mary Kay for 43 years. And she looks amazing, right? She told me, because I brought her to an event. And why did I bring her to an event? Because Vivian Diaz had a Pacesetter class. And what happened at the Pacesetter class? Vivian said, bring guests to meeting. So I brought 5 guests to a meeting, and 4 signed up that night. And Connie was one of them. And when Connie came to me, and I saw Sherry, because, you know, they would take the guests out, and magically something would happen, and they would come back, and they'd be your team members. I'm like, oh, what they say to them, but I'm excited. So she would come back, and Connie, I said to Connie, you don't have to do this, because she was a good customer. I didn't want to say, I wanted to keep the sales. I go, you don't have to do this. She goes, I want to do this. I'm like, you don't have to do it. I'm taking the agreement out of Sherry's hand. Sherry's like, she wants to do it. I'm like, okay. Connie to Queen's Court of Sales in 9 months.
Wow.
Help me earn my. So, and she said to me, she goes, nobody ever offered me the opportunity. So do the math. She's 76. That's 19 years ago. No one ever offered. She goes, I wish somebody offered me the opportunity back then.
19 out of 43 years. Wow.
So think about it, you guys. Who are you not offering because you're prejudging? Offer it to everybody. And for our guests here tonight, you don't know unless you try. It's $100 to join. Big deal. Don't we spend that at Walmart in 5 seconds? I did. The other day, after Black Friday, I had to get a couple things, and I'm like, you know, it's the same thing. You get a car, it's 100. If it's in your hands, it's 50. I don't know. So, like, honestly, so what do you, it's $100, but it could change your life. What if I didn't join Mary Kay 21 years ago? Who would have taken care of my dad? All my siblings work, have full-time jobs. It was like pulling teeth to get them to do anything. And they came through, but it was very difficult because they didn't understand what had to be done, right? And nobody wanted to make a decision. And we had to change the will, and we had to change this and change it. This is no joke. Nothing was done. Like, the funerals weren't planned. Nothing was done. Like, we had to do everything. And I said to my parents years ago, me and Rob were married 3 months, and Rob's dad dropped dead of a heart attack. He was only 61. They had just moved into their retirement home in Virginia. And I remember calling my parents that day, and I said, we have to go to Virginia. Rob's dad passed away. And my dad was crying. And he was like, oh, that's so much for you to go through. And nothing was prepared for them either. And when we came back from Virginia, I said to my mom and my dad, for the love of God, please get it together. Get your affairs in order. Nothing was done. And believe me, even when my dad was not so sick, but I said, can we please get it together? Can we please talk about it? No, we want to talk about it. I go, what do you think? You're going to live forever? I mean, I hate to say that. But I mean, I was like, as a matter of fact, like, you know what? It's just not cool when it's not done. It's not cool. You guys know. I'm sure you know, right? So it needs to be taken care of, you guys. It really does. So now my mom's is all taken care of. Everything's all done. My siblings, I'm on them like white on rice. Because something an issue had happened with my sister, and I said, my sister that passed away, I said to my brothers, and I said, if you better take care of your wives, or else, you know, I will seriously hurt you, because things need to be done in a proper way, and that's all I'm going to say, because it's being videotaped, but if you ask me later, I'll tell you what that's all about. I mean, because really, just certain things need to be done, just saying, you know, so I'm just going to tell you guys, this opportunity has changed my life. It really has. It truly has changed my life. It has made me who I am today. I mean, talk about life lessons. Talk about the best friends in the whole entire world. You know, who was there for me when my sister was sick and my dad was sick? My Mary Kay people. Who's bringing food over to my house? My Mary Kay people. Who was calling my mom and giving her rides when she needed? My Mary Kay people. Those are the ones, right? So you guys, work now while you can. Going to leadership is like icing on the cake. You need to be at leadership. I mean, really, why wouldn't you want to go? It's like vacation. So much fun. We have so much fun. We have so much fun. Lots of food, lots of fun, and recognition, and training. Right? Don't you want the best training in the whole entire world? And I will tell you, did you know that out of all the people that go to leadership, 90% of those that go finish directorship by seminar. Finish by seminar. And the other 10% finish by the end of the year. But everybody finishes it. Everybody finishes. Can you get excited about that? Yeah. To be a self. So you guys, how fast can you be in DIQ? What did I say? How long can it take? A day. A day. And what a great Christmas present for somebody to join right now. Tax benefits for year end. I don't know. Right? That's what I do. I have a good accountant. So, you know, really think about that, you guys. So before I wrap this up, for the guests that are in the room, if you're a guest, raise your hand. And Jen, I know you're joining tomorrow, right? I already got the bug in my ear. Is that true? Okay.
DIQ by the end of the day.
DIQ by the end of the
So you did your job. Yeah, you did your job.
Let me ask you a question. What was it that you heard, probably before or tonight, that made you decide that you want to give Mary Kay a shot?
I just love the culture. I just love that positive attitude.
So true, right?
I totally thrive on that.
Yeah, our philosophy
I'm a
of
very
God.
positive person, and
Love it.
to make people happy.
Amen.
There you
Amen.
go.
And when you do that, it comes back to you. Life is like a
All the
circle.
time.
That's why you got these
the
best.
best life, and I didn't even do Mary Kay yet. So forget it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So we're going to schedule your debut tonight to get you going right away before Christmas. Okay? We're going to do that right away. Okay, excited. What did you hear tonight that you're like, oh, this is exciting?
Oh, I've already spoke to Lynn
Oh, okay.
before tonight
Okay.
about joining Mary Kay.
Okay.
She's been sick and I got sick and we just haven't gotten it together yet.
But we're together today.
And we're back together
But we're
tonight.
together
That's right.
and
There we are.
here we are.
All right. But we'll talk about it later because I think it'd be great.
At the after party.
At the after party. The party after the party.
Another
We have the
guy
party
brought
at the
me
end.
out
Yeah, we
here.
do. Okay. Well, I would love to answer anybody else's questions at the end. You guys, is there anything you would like to ask me? Is that okay? Do we have time for that? Anybody?
Yeah, we're just, Betty, did you want to, we
Oh.
have to, you were going to talk a
What
little
I can
bit
do is
about,
just very quick. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, did I talk
let's-
too long?
You know, so, no, we're
not
doing
at all.
great.
We're sitting here
You're
for
doing
a
great.
long time.
Anybody have any
Riveted.
questions for Audrey?
I can't believe I talked that long. I never talked that
I
long.
just
Yes.
want to say you were wonderful.
Oh, thank you! I was never funny until Mary Kay. I'm not kidding. I was real, like, I had funny friends and I always wanted to be funny. I was very shy in high school, but I was never funny. But now I watch female comedians and I try to pick up some things. So, thank you for having me, you guys. Thank you, thank you.